Hello, welcome to a video on how to use the MoneyLedgers bookkeeping software for freelancers. In this video, you're going to see the basics of the program and how it can be used in your freelance business. And it's a really good program for people who are home-based or home-based professionals who don't need payroll or inventory and that sort of thing in the program. It's going to be more of a no-frills program to help you keep track very simply income, expenses, and produce a net income statement. What you're looking at right now is the website proledgers.com freelancers, and you can see where the program sits, and you can come here to download a free trial. Here's the video that is going to be posted up here to tell you how to use it, and there's a buy now button if you want to buy it, and there is a 90-day money back guarantee. And some of the highlights are, there's free apps for the phone and tablet. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see the apps for Android and iOS for the program. You can import data from your online accounts, and it's compatible with both Mac and PC, and you can use it on multiple computers and all that. And anyway, we're going to get into the program in a minute just to show you how it works. And the other thing I'm going to mention is on the website, there's an FAQ page, which is a bunch of little instructional video that can help you along the way. Well, anyway, let's get to the program, and you'll see how easy it is. Okay, so when you first open up the program itself, you're going to see this opening screen. And on the opening screen, you're going to see a few things. On the left side is just a little bit about the software welcoming you. On the right side is a couple of instructional videos you can click on to help you use these functions. And so the three functions here are current file, new file, or open file. Now, if this is the first time you're using the program, you're definitely going to have to use new file first of all to create a file. Once you've created a file, then next time you want to get to it, you can use open file, or and we'll talk about that later. You can tag the file and as your current file, and then you don't have to navigate to it each time. But we'll start with new file just to get things rolling. Now there's a couple of versions of the program. There's a no tax version and a tax version. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to see you can choose between tracking one or two sales tax. We're not talking about income tax, we're talking about sales tax. And if you don't have to track sales tax or charge it and remit it to the government, then you're going to want to use the no tax version. So you see here on the right side, no taxes to track. That's where you'll get the free trial. And if you want to track taxes, you can use the other one on this side. Okay, so let's continue. Let's say we want to track one input tax. Now here's where you can choose the file type, and of course the file type you choose is dependent on what you're looking for. If you're a freelancer or landlord or real estate agent or trucker and so on, when you choose the file type, it'll set up a chart of accounts that you can use to get you up and running instantly. So let's say you're a freelancer in this case, and you can create as many files as you would like, and there's no extra charge. Now here's the opening screen, and on the right side there's a few extra help tips and so on. We can turn that off and just have a cleaner screen, and you can size the screen by pulling the borders and so on. But the basic elements of the screen are at the top you have your control buttons. There's no drop down menu, so everything is in full view all the time. So if you want to create a new file, you can click that, and if you want to open an existing file, or you want to save the file that you're on now, and there's when you mouse over, you'll see little pop-ups. Here is where you can import data from an online bank account, and there's a separate video on that. You can export data as a PDF or to a spreadsheet on reports and the entries themselves. You can print out reports here, and here's a setup screen which we're going to get into in a second. Now you've opened up a new file, and on the left side you're going to see it gives you a default file name called new file 1. Well, before we can actually make an entry, we have to save the file on the system. So we have to go now and choose save. Choose where you want it to save, which folder you want the file to be saved in. So let's just try sample file, call it whatever you like, and choose save. So now you can see the file name has changed in our file box here. And if you want to close the file, you click here. And if you want to make this a current file, we would choose that star like that. And we've now made it the current file. So next time we open up the program, we can just navigate to this file by choosing current file. Okay, let's try making a bookkeeping entry. So what you do is you choose the green enter record button and just follow the prompts. So if you want to choose December the 29th, and we can choose the account. Let's say it's a Visa transaction. Let's say it's for business, or it could be you can make all your personal entries here as well if you'd like. And if you have an entry that's split between personal and business, then you can choose split, and you can set up split percentages in the setup screen, and we'll show you that in a minute. But the idea of split is, for example, let's say you have an automotive write-off. You're expensing automotive gas purchases, but you want to use the prorated system of expensing it. So let's say you're using your automobile 80% for business and 20% for personal, that sort of thing. Then you can choose split on the on this part of the entry, and the program will do the math for you and do the split for you. Let's say in this case we're just going to expense it strictly to business. And then let's say the category is, it could be an income, or we could choose, let's say, an automotive gas and oil. Put in the vendor, let's say it's ESSO. Put in the amount, and if there's a tax involved, you can choose the tax or no tax. Let's say we're choosing GST in this case. And if you have a receipt to add to the entry, you could now scan the receipt using the camera on your monitor, or you can take a browse for an existing PDF. Maybe you've got an invoice that you've scanned with your normal scanner. It's on your computer drive. You can browse for it here. Or if you've taken a picture with your phone and it's a JPEG, you can browse it as an image and then attach it to the bookkeeping entry. So that's a real handy thing to do. And in fact, if you use the free apps, it has a feature on the app for the phone that allows you to take a picture of a receipt and do your entries there also, and it'll attach it to the bookkeeping entry. So anyway, there's several ways to do this, but in this program, that's how it works here. And then when you're done, choose submit, and that's it. So you can see there's the entry, and if you look at the report screen, there it is on the report, and it took out the tax portion for you and gave you the total. And you can see on the graph, you can choose a column graph, and you can choose just to display the expenses, and you can even just say, yeah, I only want to look at the fourth quarter, and you can manipulate the reports any way you would like. Okay, so that's really all there's to it. If you want to repeat this entry, and let's say there's an entry, for example, that happens every single month, let's say like a bank fee. So on the first of every month, let's say we're going to go back in November 1st, October 1st, and you can just keep adding as we go, or if you want to delete, you can delete one. And once you've set up your dates, let's say it's going to be for your checking account, and it's a business expense, and it's a banking charge, and it's a monthly fee. There we go. And let's say it's $3, no tax on that, and then we choose submit, and there we go. You see there's 3 entries now, one for every month, and the repeating entry is done. So there's little time-saving things you can do here. If you want to leave a note on the file and say, oh, we need to find a receipt, or anything you want to remind yourself about or make notes about the bookkeeping file, you can do that there. There's a little question mark. It takes you to the FAQ page of our website, and so on. And of course, you can filter out these entries by account or by class, just your general business entries, and by category or a multiple of categories. Also, if you wanted to do a more sophisticated search, you could just simply type in your search description or a partial match even. Let's say we want to see all the items that were ESSO, so we can get an idea how much we spent with ESSO. Boom, there it is, and we've filtered everything out, and even a partial match is acceptable. and it'll still find everything that starts with ES and so on. So this is a very powerful feature actually, because you could, if you use your description fields right, you could set up nice reports simply by entering the field description search matched in some kind of identifier in the description of the entry. So you could look up all the transactions of a certain vendor, or a identifier number of some kind, or a project number, or a listing number, or something that would allow you to search with description. So now I'm going to remove that search, and I can just turn that feature off with that magnifying glass, and there you go. Now go to the setup screen for a minute. Here you can choose the year. Here you choose the first month of your financial year. And keep in mind that each year will require a different bookkeeping file, but that's a real simple process, and there's a way to export the setup here once you've got this set up the way you like it. And when you create a new file, you can just import the setup again down here, and just a matter of minutes and you'll have a new bookkeeping file set up. It's just a matter, you can watch the video on that in our FAQ page. How do you want the dates to be formatted? Month, day, year, or day, month, year? You can choose that there. You can change it at any time you want. And you can set up all the different accounts that you have for your bank accounts and credit cards, and you can edit the names, or you can add a name and that sort of thing there. And the same goes with all your classes. You can set up your business or your class names here. Now this class setup is only for the expanded version of the ledger. So that's the $99 package. But if you have the basic version, you're only going to have these top three items: general, business, split, or personal. You're not going to be able to produce income and expense statements for different projects or properties. So, but nonetheless, that's the difference between basic and expanded. You can set up your taxes. If it's a tax version, you can change your tax name and the percentage of the tax. You can set up all your income categories, and you can also choose to display these categories on the business statement. So if you have a salary, like a personal salary besides your business, and you want that not to show up in your business income and expense statement, you can uncheck it, and then it will just show up on your personal or combined income and expense statement only. And the same goes with all the expense categories. With this program, you can track all your personal and business income and expenses, and you uncheck the ones that are personal in nature, like groceries, let's say, or health and beauty, and anything else like pet supplies, that sort of thing. Just uncheck those, but all the business ones you stay checked. On the right side, for any entries that you want to be able to split the expense amount between personal and business, you can change the ratios on the right side. So your automotive expense, let's say it was 70-30, you can change that to 70. And so when there's an automotive expense and you choose the split class, that expense will be split between personal and business 70-30, for example. And once you're done, you just close it and save changes at the bottom. Also, you can pre-write your descriptions. So if you have common entries to do, and you don't want to keep writing out the descriptions, you just edit them, and then you can just choose them off a drop-down list instead of entering them in manually. Another time saver. So save the changes once you're done. And if you're making changes to the setup screen, and if the program is open on any other device or computer, you're going to have to reload the file or choose the sync button. Otherwise, you won't see the new changes on the other device. And the sync button in this case is here. It just reloads the file when you do that. So anyway, that's really all there's to it. In this case, I didn't save my work, so when I reloaded the file, my entries were not there. So just make sure when you do your entries that you always save your work before exiting. Well, that's all there's really to it. Thanks for tuning in.